Okay, Jeremy, Jeeps Unlimited, 303-666-9020. I'm going to try to make this as brief as possible, but still show you as much as detail as I possibly can think of, and anything that you should be aware about. JeepsUnlimited.net, that's our website. You can buy this frame there or others like it. Look at others like it. We have them listed pretty much everywhere, so they don't last long. It's just kind of a specialty frame. Doesn't mean you have to use it the way it was intended to use. You can go back to the way it was originally intended. But this has got a small block Chevy 350 mounted, motor mounted to it. So if you were to go back, it'd be as simple as grinding those off and redo them. This was done the right way. It was definitely a professional weld job. I'll show you that in a second. You can see the motor mount sitting there. They normally sit up on the side. Actually, this one's upside down, but those are normally the stock ones there. Everything else is the same on it. It's got the same control arm mounts, everything like that. This is an 03 to 06 Jeep Wrangler TJ frame. You can use it on a 9706. It's not a big issue. The only thing you got to do is put a gearbox from an 03 to 06 and a belly pan. Both of those we do have in stock. We carry them throughout the year, so it's just a matter of putting one of those on, and you'll get a better steering box anyway out of them. And the belly pans, they're about the same. They're just a little different looking. So otherwise, this is a nice, clean, straight frame. It does have one bump on it. It's the rear, and this actually happened from one of my guys. I was just gonna pound it out, but I figured I'd at least show you. So this is back area on this back. They call it the frame back support. So you can kind of see it there. It's really not bad, and it's right there at the top where it's bent. So either I hit it with the hammer a couple times. It really didn't do much, and I didn't want to bend the flap down. Probably would be a good idea to get like a ratchet strap or a come along on it. Get something, get it secured to something. You can even do it once you have it mounted, because the holes in the corner didn't affect this at all. It's just this rear piece here, and actually everything's flat. So I mean, I would definitely pound it out so it didn't get in the way of the gas tank. But it's pretty insignificant. I'm gonna knock $100 off for it. I'm not gonna knock it a lot, but it's something that you can tinker with and save a little bit. I very rarely will discount a frame, especially in this good a shape. This thing is absolutely beautiful. All the black you're seeing on it is the factory original black paint. Any areas that aren't black are just where the paint is rubbed off, and it's got a little oxidation on it, but there's no rust inside or outside this frame. It's an absolutely beautiful, and I would give it an A- because of that, or B+ if you, depending on how we grade them. But regardless, the pricing is the same on those two. So, okay. So other than that, which I like to point out in the very beginning, if there's any bigger things, which that would be a bigger thing, not really that big, but bigger. Otherwise, it's perfect. It's a beautiful frame. This is your back tank. It goes where your skid plate mounts to this on the underside, and I'll flip it over here in a second and show you that. But this is all nice. All the coil spring buckets, they're perfect. On top, they like to rot out there. This is a place that loves to rot out on TJs here. This back, where your control arms, upper and lowers kind of meet here. If you're in the Midwest or East Coast, that might be where yours is bad. It's very common, and that's usually where the patch kits are sold. And I can tell you from doing one of those caps that I would never do another one. And that's why I specialize in these frames. I've done this for a long time. I've tried every type of fix possible out there to avoid to replace a whole frame. And the long story short is they're really not that difficult to replace if you're doing it yourself or paying somebody. You shouldn't get gouged for it. It is some labor, for sure. They're kind of like Legos, though. There's only one way things go. If you do yourself and you're a little inexperienced with it, just make sure you have somebody go through and torque things down, control arms, stuff like that. You don't want anything loose on it. Otherwise, it's pretty self-explanatory. These are your body mounts that go to your frame and up to your body. Those are perfectly circular. Those love to rot out, and the bushings trap moisture in them. And then on this side as well, you can see that's where the paint's kind of wore through a little bit there, but again, just a little oxidation. There's nothing. You can see the profile of it here. Still's nice and smooth on it. And then coming up to the front. Okay, here is where they did the motor mounts. So let's look at those first. And this again is for a small block Chevy. Okay, and you can see the weld. It's not the greatest bead, in my opinion, but it's a pretty damn good one. And I'm only saying that because I'm pretty good at it. This will definitely hold up, though. There's absolutely no chicken shit or whatever we call it. as far as that goes. That's that side, and then this side here. I just throw some paint on it, Rust-Oleum or 415, get it nice. I actually do the whole frame. We're going to start bead blasting these here soon enough. It will cost quite a bit more on there because it does take a fair amount of time to do. But if that's something you're interested in, you're redoing something, you know, it might be right up your alley. Those are the crumple zones, these holes here. These areas here, if they get hit in the front end, pretty easy to tell if they've been hit in the front end by the front bar, what kind of shape it's in, by those three. And we also do measurements. We fillet it down and make sure everything squares up on it. Make sure it's not teetering, anything like that. But anyway, so those are there for kind of your protection. If they were to get hit in the front end, those areas crumple. And when they're not crumpled, they're nice and circular like you see there. So this is another area, gearbox. So this again is the different part on them. They look almost identical, but they are slightly different than the old 97 to 02 gearboxes. And I think that's it. So let's talk, well, I'll flip it here in a second, but this is where the original 6-cylinder motor mounts went, okay? It was a 6-cylinder frame before. It doesn't matter if it's 6 or a 4, it's the exact same when they put this 350 in it. Or 350, I don't know if it's 350 or 5.3. It's a small block Chevy. Anyway, so that's where the motor mount, you can kind of see where they didn't grind it down there. It's got kind of a good edge on it, and I'd probably get that a little bit more ground down, just in case you ever reach down there. You don't want it getting yourself cut or anybody else, so, or just leave it alone. And then they did, and they did that. So this is set up just to drop at 350. I keep saying 350. I don't know for sure if it's 350 or 5.3. Regardless, it doesn't matter. So if you have any questions on that, you can let me know. But if you're looking to do a frame replacement and considering putting a bigger motor in it, this is the chance to do it. You not only get a beautiful frame, but you already have the motor set up for it. This is all just stuff. You can see how clean that is. That's just dirt sitting on top of it that I didn't obviously get hit the pressure washer when I washed this earlier. So anyway, here's an overall frame view, and let me flip it over, and then let's see if I can get out of the shadow here. Let me flip it real quick, and then I'll get some more photos, and we'll wrap it up for the night. Okay, they're not very heavy. They're weigh 200-ish pounds, give or take. Okay, so the bottom side is just as beautiful as the top side. So I've talked a lot in this video already. I'm just going to kind of go over it. There's your motor mounts for your engine there, obviously. Coil spring, shock tower, upper, lower control arm mounts. Obviously your body mounts. This area loves to rot out. These are absolutely beautiful. Threads are good in them. That's for your belly pan. Yours might be toast there. Again, this is the area that likes to rot out most of the time because I don't know why, it just traps moisture in these areas. These ones are awesome. Everything's really nice there. Coil spring buckets are awesome. Bottom side of the gas tank skid area are perfect. And then you can see here, this is a good shot of this because this is actually almost perfectly straight. It's just the top that's kind of curved in on it. And then back to this one. These are just cups that somebody removed the other side on it. One of my guys probably. And then back to this side. Nice and clean. Everything like that. And again, this is, I cleaned this earlier, but I obviously didn't do a very good job because just rubbing my finger gets that factory paint to shine through. So you don't have to paint this. You could use it as is. I'd probably throw a coat of paint just because it does have some areas where the paint's wore off. Give you one more type of overall shot of it. We're doing kind of a yard cleanup this couple weeks. Our axles and tubs are kind of scattered throughout. We do have tubs as well. Again, 303-666-9020. I appreciate you taking a look at this video, and have a great day.